You understand what I want to tell you, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So this is a clone from GitHub. I will select all of you can see my screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay, okay. So this is how my folder look like. Now I will make the changes in this folder. So what I will do, there are three parts. MVC, you all know, right? That is model view controller. I have discussed this yesterday as well. So there are three things: model view and controller part. So I'll create the folders accordingly. So I'll create one folder, name as let's say backend. I'll create one more folder. No, not file. One folder, name as template templates. Okay. For now, I'll create two folders. One part is backend and one part is template part. Okay, that is the view and uh, that is backend contains your model and that controller part. Okay, and your template contains that only view part. Fine. Now I will create my model today. So I will write that into model.py. There is one more thing called app.py, and make sure this is very important. Make sure that your app.py should be under this folder mad1. Okay, so you have to create that app.py into this folder. So like you have to create one file named as app.py which is not under any of these two folders. Okay, what happened? I'm sorry, why it is not working? Why didn't my laptop? Are you all able to see my screen?
No,
What is sorry? One thing is there. Let me see. Okay. Uh, mm, this one. Yeah. So yeah, you have to make sure that your app.py should be under this Mad1 project. This shouldn't be under any of these two folders, neither in the backend, neither in the template. It should be with README file. Where it is your README file, that should be with you. That should be with app.py and README file. README file should be, uh, you know, all together. Okay, now let me tell you that how a simple Flask app will work. So for a simple Flask, what is the main important thing? You have to just import your Flask part. Okay, one more thing that if you want to create an environment in your project, then you can create that as well. But if you don't want to create, then it's all right. Your project will work without that. Without environment part as well. So if you want to create, you can. If you don't, then you can skip that part. So I'll tell you that how can you create the environment part as well. So for environment, what you have to do, you just have to write in your terminal Python minus m env, and then you can write any code, any file name which you want to write, like with whatever the file name you want to keep, you can write that file name. So it can be my env, that is my environment, or either you can write .env as well. Anything will be okay. So I am go with my env. I'll write my env. Okay. Now what is it? No module named env. Is it env or something else? Okay, vnv. I'm sorry. Yeah, a VNV, virtual environment. So when you create the virtual environment, then whatever the whatever the you know requirements are there for that project, you have to do that all installation here. So if I just remove this backend environment part and I will run my Flask code, that all will work properly. But here, if I run that from Flask, then it gives me that error that it don't know what is the Flask is. So you have to just each and everything for whatever is needed for your project. Now, one more thing. So this is how you create the your Python environment. Now for just activating it, you have to write it again. So for that, you have to write my env. What is your folder's name? Then backslash. Then you have to write script. Then backslash again. Then activate. It will activate. Now, why this code is written? You can see from here that this is a folder which you have created, which is your file folder name. Whatever you will write that name here only. Okay, that name you will write. Whatever the name you will write, that will be written here. Okay, like I just created with my env. If you will create .env, then you have to write the .env. Then under this, there is something called a script. So in the script folder, there is a file name activate, which activate your this folder, this environment. Okay, so that's why you have to write that, and it will activate your folder. Now, for after doing these all things, now you have to just install each and everything, and which was very much problematic. I do not want to do that all, so I'll just skip that part. So I'll just delete this folder. I'll move to the recycle bin, close terminal, and open it again. So when I open the terminal, also you have to just activate your that environment part. If you don't do that, it will work on the PS and it won't work then. Okay. So that is what about the environment part. If you want, then you can do. So let me just go through that how your simple Flask works. So I'll just create a from Flask import Flask. For you know that your backend is work in the Flask only. So that will be first thing that you will just import your Flask. Now the next thing is you will write app. App is your name where you just uh, where just import your one module named as name, which is having a few facilities, which will just tell you that which folder you have to open and all whatever you command do all your commands that will fetch out that will search all the commands and do accordingly. Okay, that is the one of the module of the class. Now now there is one more thing that if this module, that is the name, if this name is equals to main, then what you have to do, then you have to okay, yeah. Then what you have to do, then you have to run that. So we'll write app dot run this command. Okay, now if you deploy this is, let's say this is your very simple project that you are working, that you are just want to know that how the Flask works and other things. Now you will just when you deploy this, so you will write python app.py, and your project will be deployed look like that. And when you click on the link, it will not show you anything. It's just because that you haven't do anything. You are just only creating a Flask app and doesn't do anything. So let's say if you want to deploy anything. So if you want to say deploy any, let's say you want that there's a screen, and on the screen there's a sentence written hello world. So for that, what you use, you will just route that. So you will write app dot route. In that you will write, let's say any syntax, whatever the this you know this route, whatever the URL, this is the URL you will write, this is the URL you are writing. And that when you click on this URL, you will be gone to this uh, you know whatever the definitions or whatever the Python code you have written to deploying or to want to show you. Similarly, say like, let's say for now I just want that for now I just want that there's a you can say, yeah, there's a screen, and on that screen I want to write the, instead of not form, I just want to write the hello world. Okay, if I just want to do that, so what I will do, I'll just write this code. Okay, this is the simple Python code where what you are doing, you are just having a you are just defining a function called home, and you are just returning the hello world. Okay, and you give the URL, whatever that you write here, like at the rate app.route, that is your decorator. I hope you all have gone through the Mad1 course, so you are aware of these things. I'm audible? Yeah. So, sorry. Yeah. So you have gone through these things. So you are aware of what is the decorator and how the URL works and these all things, right? So this is all about that only. So let's say if I want that only hello world show there, so I will just write return hello world, and when I go here and in the URL, I will just do this. Okay, not login. Now just wait, says okay, debug is not true. I'm sorry. Yeah, debug is equals to true. Yeah. Now I have to do this again. I'm sorry. So whenever you write your own code, please mention that try to write this debug is equals to true in your code. If you don't write this, then whatever the changes you made in here, you can't see it dynamically. If you want to see it dynamically, you can just write debug is equals to true. So what happened? Whatever the things you will do here, whatever the changes you made here, that all will be rendered through your template. So let me just go it again. Okay. So when I just, so you can see the hello world, all of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's how your simple Flask works. Okay. So I hope you all are it is understandable. Okay. Okay. Now I have just tell you that how the routes work, yani how the controllers work. Okay, so this is the part of a controller. So this is the part of a controller. What you did, you just write a URL for. So you are just controlling that whenever I go to this URL, you have to do this function. Okay. Similarly, your login function is also working. You will give a URL, and on the basis of that, your function, whatever the function you will write, that will work. Now move on to the database. Now, how will you create the database? So for creating the database, you have to import something called. Now you can, whatever the changes, whenever you change made the changes, it will just go and reload everything and try to see that what the changes you are making. Okay. So now from last SQL Alchemy, I just want to, okay, I just want to import SQL Alchemy. Okay. So I just imported a SQL Alchemy, which is from the it's a a part of a Flask, which works, which is used to as a ORM. It just helps us to get the database, whatever the database I have created, that will be a SQLite part. In a SQLite, I will just created all my database, and this is ORM. ORM do what? ORM stands for. I think you all are aware of the ORMs, right? What is ORM? So I'm not going to the concept that much, but I'll just tell you in that much. Okay. Are you are not aware of ORM? Please say yes or no. If
No, I'm not aware of that.
not no, no, all of you don't know. So ORM I think there is in the in week. I don't know. I'm not remembering the week, but yeah, it's there. So what is the ORM basically? It is an object relational mapping. So what happened? Whatever is the object. So what your object is here. So object is your like I made the model now. So I made the model. I have different tables. So different tables are my objects. Okay. Then object relational. Relational means there is some relation between that object. So like this course is one object, then a chapter is one object, then this quiz sorry user is one object. There are many objects like that. So there is a relation between them. What the relation? This id is a relation between them. So we need we use only id as a relation between means for my project I have used id. I think for yours as well there will be one primary key, and that will be your what is that will make the relation between your different objects, that is the different models. Okay, and what are the different models? For my one, the different models are this is quiz, this user, this course, this chapter. These all are my models. Okay. That's all about the object. So that making the relation between them. Then object relation mapping. So what mapping do? So like there are different courses. It maps this one course with one chapter, then maps one chapter with one you can say quiz. In one quiz, there are many questions that all is mapped by each other. Have you know about the Cartesian product? How it works? So there are mapping.
Mm.
Don't know.
Yes, ma'am.
So what happened? One thing is mapped with a different. Okay, you have done the DBMS course, not you know you are aware about one to one and many to one all. So there is
Yes,
a
ma'am.
mapping between them. Yeah, yeah. So there's a mapping between them. That is all about that. Okay, so that what SQL alchemy helps us to do. That is the ORM. Okay, and this question asked in the Viva. Okay, so this is the ORM which is used. Now, now DB. DB is your database. Okay, DB using what? Database is using what? SQL alchemy. So I'll write SQL alchemy. And then after in this SQL alchemy, I'll write what the thing I want to just say. Okay. Now before that, I need to create a database. So for creating the database, I'll write the code app.config. Config is what? Configuration. Configuration what? Database. This is very important. So database SQL alchemy URI. Okay, and that will be equals to what? SQLite. SQLite is the database which you have to use. SQLite, and then and the location you give what? Any file name. Now this is okay. Now the your database is created. That is your SQLite is the database that is created. Now, whatever the file name you want to give, you can give you by your own means. So if I want to give, let's say any name you can say, let's say my database, my database. But remember one thing, there must not be any space. If there is a need of a space, please use this underscore. Okay, and that is how your database will be created. Okay, now for this, we'll just write a code with app.app context db dot create all. Okay, db dot create all. There is nothing. Yeah. So now what happened? Your database will be created. When I run it, it should work. Let's check it out. Hmm, Uh, this one is there. Okay. Yeah. And yeah, this one. Now let's try. Okay, working. So as you can see, as you can see, this should be right. So as you can see now, this is SQL Alchemy and database UI. What it takes that SQL Alchemy, you are just giving the command that the SQL Alchemy take the database URI, whatever the URI, there are few things URL, URI, and one more thing I'm not able to remind it, but yeah, there is one more thing. So for that, this is the URL. This is the URL. It will use the ORM will use this URL. That is the SQLite. That is the database, and then in that database you will select the database you want to use, that is the my database. Okay, so this is the database you want to use, and you can write anything else as well. So when I see, so you can see there is a something called my database which is totally empty because there's nothing. Also one more thing, that we have just installed SQLite 3 editor in our VS Code. That's why we are able to see the database. Those who haven't installed, please install it. Otherwise, you are not able to see that. Uh, Also, if you want to work on the database, there is something called database app, app is there, I think. I'm not sure. But if you are using that app, then you have to write database dot my database dot db. Otherwise, it won't work. Okay. So like you can see, there are two folders created for me, um, but it is not uses anymore. Okay. So now what happened? My simple is created, my database is created, and everything is working now. Now, if I want to create a model, how will be able to create the model? So for that, what are the important things here? Firstly, uh, firstly, let me create the model. After that, we will connect the both. So for creating the model, what are the main things from class? I'll just shift the few things from here. So from class, SQL Alchemy, import DB. No, sorry, import SQL. Okay, and then I will write DB is equal to SQL Alchemy. Okay, and then I'll start writing my all the codes, and also uh, I'll just write here. I'll just import my model here. Simply, I'll just import my model here. I'll just remove that also because I have written that part here in my model part, right? These two uh, rows which I have written in the app was I just removed that those lines and I removed them here. I just moved that two lines here. Okay, are you able to understand that I just moved two lines from app to model so that we get a a good looking app. Like if I just write everything here, then it will become very messy and you are not able to understand that what is going on. Now I will just import my DB from here, from model to app. So for that I will write from uh, backend dot backend, 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 from backend dot model import. What import? DB. Okay. Now you can see earlier there is a error here. So if I just comment this line, so you can see there is error because DB is not imported here. DB is not available on this page. So that's why there is error. So what I did, I just import my DB from the backend. So and I do all my model things in the model part, and I'll import everything from the model to the app by just writing this line. By writing this line, you just import everything from model to DB. Now, as I told you to please create the wireframe, I have already created my wireframe so that I will work according to this. So if I just take this as like, okay, so I have this. Now I'll just, according to this, I'll write my code. So there are a few things. The very first is the code. So firstly, I'll create the an column, a table for this. Okay, give me a second, please. Yeah. Let me. I just shared my screen. Are you all able to see that? Please say yes or no. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Right. Yeah. I'll just now create the my model. So for creating the models, you just have to write a few codes like class and what the model you want to create. So I want to just create the course model. So I'll just write course. Remember one thing, that whatever the code that the course you will write here, that C should be capital. Otherwise, it won't work. So if you will just okay. So now and then this is the course I'll just create it. After that, I'll create the DB dot model. I'll take a whole thing DB dot model. This is very important. It will tell you that this is the class which you have to follow, and using this class, you will just make the model like that only. So like that, you have to create a table which is created in the DB dot model. So that's why it is important. Okay. So you have to write that this is the model, db dot model is there. So you can see like there's a thing written here. Model is a SQL Alchemy declarative model class. Subclass, this is to define the database models, how you create the database models. Also, if you want to give your table name, then you can give it like that. Say table name is equal to, and any table name you want to give, but like if you want to give that not course, if you want to give it that as subject, then it will then your whatever the uh, you can say that the table will be generated, then table will be having a name as subject. Okay, but this is not necessary. You can do it with class as well. Like if you will create if you want to change it, then you can write here subject. Okay, so I'm not going to make that. Okay, now this is what about how create that, how you will create the table. So that is how you can create the many tables. Okay, now in tables there are many columns, right? So that is how you can create the many models. So yeah, Pururaj.
Yeah, ma'am. Is course a table or the database? Because you were writing table name inside the class course.
Sorry, I'm not sorry. Can you please repeat it again?
I'm asking that course is a table, not the database, right?
No. Course is a table.
Okay, so you were writing table name inside the class
Ha,
course.
So there
What
are
was
many.
that? I was saying.
Okay, there are many tables. Okay, you have a copy. You just go to the school. Whenever you just go to the school, you have a copy, right?
Yeah.
You have a copy. So in your copy, you just on your first page, you just write your name, right?
Okay.
So that you can identify that this is your copy.
Mm-hmm.
True. So
Yeah.
similarly, this class course is a copy. You can say it is a table. And if you just want to identify this table, whatever the name you want to give this table, that you can write under this table. So you can just write anything. So it's not compulsory that if let's say in your cover page you just written math, okay, math by mistakenly, let's say, okay, and but it is a copy of science. So what you can do, you can just open your cover page and check that there is a name thing and everything is written. Or you can say, let's first you just created any for you just created any other copy, and after that you want to make for any other subject copy, then you can change that subject, right, like that. You can change the name like that. So similarly, you just created a table, name as course, and similarly, if you don't want that your table name, that you created the table as a course, but you don't want that course should be your table name. Your name should not be the course. You want another name. So for that, you can write
Mm.
whatever the name
Okay,
you
got
just
it.
want. Okay.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
But I do not do that, because if I want to change my uh, name of the table, so I can just uh, write here as well, right? I can change from here as well, right? That's what I'm telling you. I hope
Okay.
this is
All
understandable.
right. Yeah.
Okay. Now you have created your table. Now there are columns in the table, right? So So now there are columns of the table. So in a course table, what are the columns? ID, and that was the ID. ID is one column. Then name is one column, and sorry, name name is one column, and that description is one column. Description is one column. Okay. So now we will write. So ID is equal to db dot column. It will this is a column. So for creating a column, you have to write the db dot column. Okay. Now under db dot column, again, this column C will be capital. Okay. Now you just created the db dot column. Now you do what? You will see the now you will just write what this table represent. Say let's say id is okay, but id can be a string, id can be integer, id can be anything. Say like our id, whatever the id we have right now is 24 f100 or 2229. This is my id. So this is what this is having a string. It is not having total integer value, it is having some uh, you can say a string value as well in between, right? So its whole become what, a string. It can't be a integer, it can't be convert in a integer part. Okay. Similarly, in a course part as well, for many of our courses, like in our school courses, this course name was all integer, but the courses we are studying right now is string courses like MA1002. That is a string, that can't be integer, right? Am I am I able to
Yes,
get
ma'am.
it? Yeah, true. Okay, so that's how you have to write. What is the your what the thing you want. So it's a teaser, it's a string. What is this ID? So I want that my course ID should be whole integer. Okay, so for whole integer, I'll just write db dot integer. Now, okay, that's okay. Now I want that my what is the primary key? All of you are aware of what is primary key?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because DBMS course, if you have done, you should aware. So not what is the primary key? So the primary key. So you just want that your all the ID should be unique, so that you will write primary key should equal to true. Means, so that what happened whenever you create your ID, if the and if any course having the same ID, then your course will not take that ID. It will show you some error. Okay, okay, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now similarly, we'll create another column. Now in this time we'll write this. I want a string. That string name is okay. Like it's a string. Now what else thing should our name have? So can a course can be a course which do not have any name? Is
No.
no?
No.
There should be a name of a course, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes,
Now
yes.
see, nullable. Nullable is a term which tell you that this which lets you whenever you just write or whenever you just create your code. So nullable is the thing which tells you that you have to fill your course name, otherwise it will show you error. Okay, so nullable is equal to false, yani there should be um a name of your course. Okay, then next thing is description. Now, what about the description? So, description can be anything. So, I'll just write that it should be write any limitation if you want that number limit and all. But I don't think so that anyone is interested in your description part. Okay. Now we'll create another class. So we'll create another class called class is equal to chapter. We'll write the same thing db dot model, and then what are the terms in the chapter part? id id name. One more thing, whatever the columns you are creating, that columns also, if I mean that columns also try to I mean I think it's mandatory that your columns should also be in the uh, small letters. That should be in the small letters. Whatever the columns you are creating in your course, that or the in chapter or any table, that all columns should be in the small letters. Okay, okay. Am I there? Does it meet?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
What's wrong with this? It's ID, name, number of questions. What are the other things in my column? So that is the description part. Okay. So number of questions. Um, do one. Remember one more thing, that whenever you write anything with related to space, then you have to write that thing in the under with the underscore. Okay. So next one is number of questions and then description. Description. Okay. Then next is there is something called yeah. Then this is that much description. Now let's create the column for all. So I'll write similar thing, similar with the code only. So I'll just copy it from here and paste it. Okay. For the name also same thing. So I'll just copy from here and paste it. Control C and Control V. Yeah. For the number of questions, the things are maybe different. We'll write db dot and then column that should be integer. Okay, db dot integer and then anything else. No, nothing else. You can just write it here as usual. That's okay. One more thing, if you want, then you can write. If you want, then you can write default table. What the default do? The default will just check. Uh, just it will it don't show you error. Say, let's say, you created a chapter, okay, and after that, you just forget to give the number of questions in your chapter. So if default is equals to 0, then it will automatically assume that there are 0 number of questions described um, in this chapter, okay, and it will create it without giving you any error. So uh, if you don't if you forget to give the number of questions, it will create with the default of 0. Okay, is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Then after there is something called class. Next, what is the next model? Quiz. And then we have class quiz db dot model. Then we can write in the quiz what are the columns we have. id chap id date name, date time, name. Okay, id date time, name, and then remarks. You all are aware of how to create the model, right? Now, so all of you can do that. Well, you, yeah, okay.
Yes.
We can write db dot integer and then similar primary key is equals to 2. Okay, date time a little bit different. Uh, Important one, like you can't give any string or integer here. You just have right here db dot date time. What it will give you, it should, mhm, yeah, it's a functionality for a db, that there is one more like integer data types, like there are different data types in the db, like integer or string. Along with this, it is having a date time as well. So the date time, what it will do, it will just give you a calendar like view where you can select any date or any columns, sorry, any columns for the time. Okay, so different times are I will be seen on different columns for the uh, like calendar type view will be given to you. Okay, I'll just show you after this. What about the name? So name I'll just write like this only, and remarks will be similar to the description. Here date time is important, because if I don't give date time, then how will the quiz work? Okay, so this is how you can create other tables as well. So I'm not going to show you how you will create the others table and do all the things. I'll just let you know that what the next things I'll do. I mean, how you can do the next thing. So let's say we have a course, we have a chapter, we have a quiz, right? Now, how will you make the relationship between them? I think this you have learned in your uh, theory part. So anyone? Okay, anyone? You have learned about the one-to-one and many-to-one relationship. I think it's week 3 part, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, right. So how you do that? Okay.
Mm.
Like if you are not known to this, and if you don't able to understand what I'm telling you, that you can watch the lecture, because I'm not going to tell you that how do you do this and that, because that is the theory part. I we don't have that much time, right? So please, like, try to see the things from the lecture. Otherwise, I'm just trying to tell you that how it works. Okay. So what happened? What is the relationship we have? We have a we have a course relationship with the chapter. And what is the relationship? That is the one to one. Yani, this id, this course id should be there in the chapters. Like whatever the chapters you are having, that chapters should have the id. What should it have? Id, course id, right? Are you able to follow me? Let's say, let's say, yeah, let's say in your courses, whatever the weeks are there, that all weeks are under the under which course? Under which course ID? Whatever the course you have, let's say if you have a this Mad1 course, so for Mad1 course, all the week contents are there in the Mad1 ID. Whatever the Mad1 ID is there under that. So that's what I'm trying to tell you, that whatever the chapters, whatever the chapters you will make, that chapters have a your course id. So let's say there are many more courses, there are many more chapters. So if we don't have a course a chapter id related to the course id, and course id related with the chapter id, then it won't work. Like, you are not able to follow that which chapter, which course this chapter belongs. So for that, for identifying that, we need a course id, so that we can identify that this chapter belongs to the that course, right? Are you able to follow me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So we will do course id in my what the model I have created, wireframe I have created. In that as well, I just mentioned a course ID in between, in the chapter, if you have seen in the columns part. Okay, so that is how we will create one column name as course ID, and that will be equals to db dot column. And in db dot column, course ID is what? Integer, right? Course ID, it is integer now, right?
Yep. Yes.
Okay, so db dot integer. Now, since it is a foreign key, so I'll mention that as well. Foreign key ID.
ID.
Yeah, yeah, true. Okay, that's what it's telling you. Oh, I thought like maybe it should be course dot, yeah, course dot id. Now, why I have written the course dot id? Anyone?
Because course is a class or
Uh,
object that we have created.
yeah, true, true. Now this will write null label. Null label is equals to false, because we don't want it to be null. Now that is all we have done. We have created the column. Now we want the foreign key. We have created a foreign key from the course to the chapter. But I need a back reference as well. Now what is back reference? So back reference is like, let's say if I want from the course, in the course, let's say I have a course, and I want to know that how many chapters are there in the course. Then how will I get to know? I need a back reference. I need a response. Say like we have a session like this. Okay. if I'll, let's say I'm not able to see how many students are there. Okay, and I just want to know how many students are there. So what I do, I'll just take a attendance. Okay, and I'll mark the student what going on in the school. Okay, they do not just count each and students, because there are a lot of students are there. If they count, there wastage of time. So what they do, they do the attendance thing. So what they do, they just uh, give that ID, that student ID. Student ID, that is the roll number only. So they give that student ID, and student responds back. Are you able to follow? Student responds back, so that he just or she just get to know that this is a student, and that is all that is present and everything. Okay, so there is a need of response. So here also course just give its ID to the chapter, that okay, take my ID and create a chapter and all. Okay, and now course asks that are you there, have you created yourself or not. So it is just asking something from your chapter. Okay, okay, so this is chapter is equals to db dot. Now we don't write column, because it is not a column, it is a relationship. So we'll write relationship. db dot relationship. Now this chapter will take, now the yeah, now this relationship will take a column name as chapter. So we'll take give this as a relationship, that this is a column. You have to take what, backref. So backref home course. Okay, so cascade will just delete, cascade all delete, means all the data will be deleted. Okay, right, this is all about the relationship. Now there's a term called uh, lazy, which you can do it by yourself. If you don't do that, that's all okay, but true, do that. So what a lazy do, so it will just make your um, whatever the application you are just building, in that application it will go through each thing in a very deep manner, and it will process each and everything in a, it will not give you a quick reloading and all. It will take a time, but reload each and everything very clean, neat and clean way. Okay, there is a one term also, I think it will be for fast. I'm not remembering that term right now, but there's a term something which is for the fast reloading and all. So let's say if you want the interaction between your app and you is very fastly, then you can write that. But it will not give you a very neat and cleanly way your all the reloading things or all the things, whatever the routes you will write. Maybe it will give you some mess between them. So that's why that is not useful for our projects, because we can just this is a very small level project, so you can just have it in a good manner. Okay. So similar code, it's very similar. So it's, here you have write course ID, you will write here chapter ID. Also give here different from the column. I have write here S, because your table name is also chapter, so you can't write it chapter as a relationship also. That will be, that can create a mess. So that's why I just right. Now this is very similar to the above one. So I'll just write it as usual. Except this course, I will write chapter. Okay, and rather, and in this here also it is similar. I'll just copy this and paste back. Okay. Back reference is your quiz. You will write quiz. Sorry, you are just referring to the quiz, so that's why making the relationship with the quiz, so that's why you will write this as quiz, and back reference to the chapter, so you will write here chapter. Okay, and rest other things are same here also. It is quizzes. You can write quizzes. Okay. Okay, so that's how we have created our model doll. So let's try and see that how it is looking. Okay, and now let me just, yeah, I'll delete this. I don't want this as well. Okay, now let's do it. DB dot date time. Yes, yes. DB dot date time. Okay, I think there's a syntax error. Okay, let's check it out. Sorry, date time. Okay, that is all okay. Now the next error is the current class cap is not recognized, registered with the SQL instance. Oh, okay. So I have to write the init tab. I have to. Hmm, okay. So what the error it is giving me is that, like, okay, I have created the models and everything, but I have created the model, but I in this haven't mentioned that where this model is going to work and where this model should be worked. So for that, like earlier when I created the db dot is equals to SQL alchemy, then here just I had mentioned about the app. Okay, so that's why it is working fine. But here in this, since I have created a new file, so I haven't mentioned that where this whole model is used. So for that, I need to mention that it is used for the app, that DB is used for the app. So I'll just write here DB dot. Now that time we are writing the DB is equals to SQL Alchemy app, but now here the code change and it will become DB dot init app, init app. And under this, I will mention that this is a app which we refer to our model. Now it's working fine. Okay, now so our app is working. Let's check it out. Okay, now app is working, but we have created the database. So let's see the our database only. So when I try to open my database, the instance is already created and my database file is also created. But when I click on the file, it says me that it can't be opened. So I'll click on open anyway. Okay, and here as you can see there are few things shown, and here it's shown the SQLite 3 editor. I click on it. So when I click on it, it creates my whole database. So are you all able to see that? Are you all able to follow me?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
Okay, and now let's check the schema. So can you all able to see that this is all we have to follow? So we have a code. We then give this reference to the chapter to the quiz. This is what we want, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So now my table is created and everything is created. Okay. You can do anything with my what is mentioned. Okay. Yeah. So this is how your table look like. and this is how my database is created. So I hope this is fine and you all also follow me. So you all also create your uh, you know database model like that. And if you face that any column is there which is not able to understandable to you, please tell me. I'll just tell you about the columns that is all okay. And what the necessary things are there, you have to check. Means you have to just logically think about it. Ki what are the things, like name is there, so name can't be blank. Okay, like in my case the course name is there, name can't be blank. So similarly, when you create your appointments, so for appointments, there are few date and times are there. So date time cannot be blank. There must be some date and time. Okay, and then after, if you are creating any other columns, so according to that, you have to just think that what are the things which are necessary for your column, and you will just write those things. And what the things can be, like what the things is it necessary to primary key, it should be, it shouldn't be the nullable, and those all things. Rather than that, making the relationship, don't forget to write this cascade part, which is very useful if you want to delete or do anything. Okay, you can search for the this all things on the Google as well. Okay, so we have just done only border part. I'll try my best to start on the Sunday, start the login and how the login work and all. Well, I just show you that how you can do create the models, create the database. So I think there's one day you will take to create the database, like creating, giving, writing all the wireframes, and after creating a database and all. And also for now, if when you are just not submitting right now, so what you can do, you can just skip that part to do that all, make that all wireframes on the PC only. You can make the wireframes on the pen and copy also, and then after you will just make it. And afterwards, when you have a break time and when you have a free time, then you can just make on the laptop as well. So like you can use the paint one to do that, but try to do that, do just make the wireframe and then try to make the model like we do. Okay, I hope this is all okay, and you will be
Okay.
able to do that. And I want to, yeah, yeah, of course. I'll share. Okay, let me just push the code, and I'll just make it a private. Okay, make it a public, and then I'll share it with you. Yeah, I'll share.
Ma'am, can you also share the recording for the first session?
I need. Okay, I'll share it.